What's up, Flawless Gang? It is your boy Rashad back with another story time. And as you can tell by the title, wait, before we even continue this video, if you are new to my channel, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit that post bell notification so you can be notified when every time I upload a video. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Now let's continue. So, as y'all can tell by the title below, the story time is something like serious. Like, it's funny, but it's serious. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. All right, y'all. So we are gonna name this person Miss Voodoo because that's what it gave. It really gave Miss Voodoo.
That's all I have to say to that one.
No further, nothing. Miss Voodoo. Period. So I had like a neighborhood friend, Miss Voodoo. But at the time, he was a regular person. He was just like a regular boy. Like, he was a couple of grades up than me. He was a little bit older than me. But other than that, we were cool. Good vibes. Like, you know, he was a real cool person. And so things started to shift. We actually, around this time period, we became friends again, because we fell out before, but we became friends again. And this time it wasn't just me, it was Shayla, Simone, and I'm gonna just name those two because the other people I don't feel like talking about. Oh, and this boy named Anthony. It was us three who we were like cool with him and everything like that. So around this time, things started to get a little bit weird. And what I mean by weird, so one day I'm outside chilling because that's what we used to do in our neighborhood. We would like link up, hang outside, go to each other's door to hang out, whatever. That was the best childhood. Like, that was the best times. So when I tell you it was me and Shayla. And we were hanging around Miss Voodoo. I almost said the boy name. We was hanging around Miss Voodoo. And like I said, Miss Voodoo is a regular person at this time. We didn't know the weird shit started happening until the story time. So we all started hanging out, and like out of nowhere, we ended up running into Miss Voodoo. So we had like a little clubhouse, and then the clubhouse was lit. Like, it had a movie theater, it had like a gym, it had all that. So we all linked up at the clubhouse. And after the clubhouse, like, we spent damn near all morning outside, like the whole afternoon outside. So fast forward, some weird shit started happening where it's like he started like Miss Voodoo started like turning like weird, like he was being weird. And he was like, at first I thought this was a joke. Like, I truly on God thought this was a joke. I thought he was playing around. He started like acting possessed. And when I mean possessed, like it gave possessed. Like, it gave like he was like possessed.
Sorry.
And the shit was like, me and Shayla was looking at, like, we were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we were looking like, what is going on? I know I was. And at first, like, and the thing is, with like me hanging out with Shayla, like, it's always a good time because every time she doesn't take nothing serious. So when she started laughing, I couldn't help but to just laugh. But the shit was still weird. But that whole part was funny because he was really like possessed or whatever. So in my mind, I'm just thinking he playing and whatever. Baby, turns out he wasn't playing, but I'm gonna get into that part soon. So I guess he turned into some, voodoo spirit or whatever, and I went along with it. Like, we went along with it because we thought it was funny at the time, and it was really funny. And the little details were starting to, it started to be funny because it was like, at this point, this shit ain't making no sense. Like, this is random. I've hung around you before, and all of a sudden this is coming out about. So it's like, I just thought the shit was funny. So we went along with it, and it didn't, for me, it started to get a little bit really, really serious and weird and creepy to me when there were certain things about me, or certain things that in my household, or even just certain things that I've done, or even with my friends, certain things in their family life or other people's lives, that nobody didn't know. Like, he would reveal it, or the spirit would reveal it. But at this time around, all day this is happening. Like, we're just having fun, and we're just like playing around, because I'm thinking this shit is so funny, and I'm thinking just like, this boy is really playing. So it didn't, like, turns out, I think it was the next day, because I can't really get into full detail, because this shit was years ago. Like, I was still in middle school. So this, around this time, I think it was the next day, we hung out again. But the second time we hung out, it was this girl named Marissa in the neighborhood as well. I forgot to mention her. She was like a grade below. We hung out for a little bit, but it turns out, so it was me, Marissa, Shayla, and Voodoo, Miss Voodoo. Marissa ended up going home because I think she had to go somewhere. So it was just me and Shayla and Miss Voodoo again next day. So as you know, the next day has come. We're sitting here thinking the shit was like, everything was normal, but I was still laughing from the next day. But I was still laughing, you know, from the following day. Like, I thought the shit was just so funny. So as we are here to the next day, right, the same shit starts to happen randomly. Like, just randomly. Like, just Miss Voodoo, we're having a normal conversation and just like chilling and talking as teenagers, and all of a sudden, here go Miss Voodoo being all possessed and doing the little weird shit that she was doing the first time. And I was just like, I just couldn't take the shit serious. Like, I just could not take it serious. So, it got to the point where I just could not help it. Like, I just had to tell another friend about this shit, because I'm like, this boy is really funny, because I'm just going along with it. But at the same time, like, you know, I do believe in like the voodoo. I didn't necessarily believe in it, like, oh, because I've never experienced it. But I just thought like the whole, like, you know, spirits and all that shit and demons, I definitely believe in that. But I just, as far as like voodoo and the spirit that's in with the voodoo, I never fully experienced that. So it wasn't a real full belief on my end. So I went and told Simone, our good friend. So me and Shayla went to go tell Simone what was going on, and the shit was so funny. Like, Miss Voodoo started doing the same thing, and it was just so funny. Like, and we were really witnessing this crap, and it was hilarious. Like, y'all had to be there. But at the time, when it was just me, like I said, this is, I guess, the next day, right? When me and Shayla and Miss Voodoo was at my house, things started getting real serious. That's when the possession of the spirit of the voodoo thing started coming out of him again. And later on that day, when we was at my house, and things was really intense. Like, the thing started noticing certain things. It's like, I remember I had a belt that was hidden, because this is like about the second time ever in life that I ever had this person in my house, the Miss Voodoo, which is not, like I said, is not the real name. So I had this boy in my house only twice. So because my mom didn't like this boy at all. My mom did not like this boy, and she had a weird vibe about him when she met him. So, and I was always confused as to why we just couldn't hang out, why she didn't want me around him. That's a whole nother story. But he was only at my house twice ever in life. So this is where shit started to get freaky for me. I had a belt where I would hide from my mom in case she, you know, sees a belt and starts whooping me. Like, you know, like when you get in trouble with your parents and they start beating you or like hitting you, whatever, for your punishment or whatever. I had my belt hidden so far deep in a sacred spot in my closet. I didn't even care if my mama had her own belt. That belt I had that I will put on my waist for school, I had that shit hidden that nobody did not know. Nobody did not know, right? Even my friends would come over all the time. My closet door be open. Like, nobody would know, right? But that's when shit started freaking me out because the possessedness of the demon, not the demon, the spirit, the voodoo, came out of him, and things turned left. It was like a serious conversation. Then the things started getting mad, and then the shit started like trying to like discipline us and punish us, and I was like getting freaked out because he or it, whatever it was, started like spanking us, like started, you know, hitting Shayla. I got it the worst because, you know, Shayla's a girl, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she didn't get as the most hard hit because she was a female. But with me, that bitch found my belt in my room. Peep, y'all. I said peep this, y'all. I had my belt hidden. Not even my close friends nor my mama even knew where this belt was hidden. But this person who's only been in my house twice finds my belt. We're sitting in the living room. Me and Shayla sitting in the living room, and the shit starts doing a whole rampage. Goes all the way in my room. My room is all the way, it's closer towards the front door. So it goes all the way in the room, in my closet, finds this belt. That's where shit started to freak me out. Because in my mind, I was like, how the fuck did this bitch know where my belt was? You don't even come to my house. You've been here twice. You never even been in my room like that. So it's like, shit started throwing me out. So that shit started hitting me and beating us. And then I started getting freaked out because I was like, whoa, this is kind of creepy. But at that time, things started to die down. So I was like, you know what? It wasn't like no manager, like crazy beating. Like, it was like, you know, just like a little... Like, you know, like when your, like if you have an aunt and she kind of like spank you, it was like one of those. But still, it was kind of like freaking me out because how the fuck you knew where my belt was? So anyways, everything started to die down at this time. I guess the boy ended up coming back to life, whatever he was, started coming back to life, and things started to die down. Now we're gonna fast forward. I don't know if this is the next day or within that same week, or I know it's in that same month. Like I said, y'all, this was years ago, and the story is like it has different days and bits and pieces. So y'all just follow along. I'm trying to make the story make sense. So another day. This time, it's just me and other friends. So it's me, Shayla, Simone. Then we had Brian. We had Bernard. I think we had Marissa. And yeah, I think it was Marissa. And we were all at Miss Voodoo's house. At the time, he was just back to his regular self. Like, so we all was vibing at his house while his mom was, you know, at work or whatever. And it's so crazy. As long as I've known this boy, I've never met his mom. And it's so funny when you guys hear this, you're gonna be like, shit starts to make sense about why my mom said she didn't want me around this boy. He had told me that his own mother was scared of him. So it was like, that right there should have been a red flag for me. Because it's like, why the fuck is your mom scared of you? Do you put your hands on your mama? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you beat your mama? It's like, what do you do that she's scared of? So it's like, obviously you're not putting your hands on your mama because you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be living under her roof, obviously. So that was a red flag when he told us that at least told me that his mom was scared of him. So it's like, now y'all get it. It's like his mom is scared of him, which is weird. And then my mom meeting him for the first time felt nothing but negative energy and bad vibes and didn't want me around him. Y'all see where shit's coming from, right? Y'all see where the shit's going, right? So follow me. we all chilling in his house and everything like that because the mom is at work, and everything was cool. Like, you know, we just doing us, being teenagers, talking about and whatever we were doing, as whatever teenagers do, right? The thing started getting possessed again. Like, it had like one of them random episodes where the shit started just, you know, doing whatever the fuck spirit voodoo things do. And when I tell you, everybody else, so for me and Shayla took it serious because the conversations and the things that we were having and the things that it knew about us in the future it was saying, we started to think that this shit is serious, but we wasn't like super like scared every time we saw it, because at first it was just cool. Everything was cool about it. Like, it was not on some real like demonic shit, on some scary shit. It was just like, okay, it was like, okay, cool. So me and Shay at the time, we were cool about it. It wasn't frightening to us. It wasn't that scary to us. So, but so we took it serious. Now Simone, Bernard, and Brian and Marissa, this is their first time seeing it. Well, Simone seen it, witnessed it once, but that was just for a little second. But this is her actual first time seeing this come into full effect. The boy is like having his episodes or whatever, and everybody's laughing and thinking this shit funny. But me and Shadow on the side just looking like, we just look, because we've seen this multiple times. So it's like, it was just, at this point, it's not even random anymore. It's funny to them, but to us, it's like, it's still kind of funny, but it's still like, it's not even funny no more because we don't see this happen so many times now, and it just be so random. So, y'all, things started getting real serious. It started getting mad and started like telling us, like, the voodoo spirit started like getting mad inside of the board and started telling us like certain things, like, oh, how we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be hanging around with certain people. So the Miss Voodoo thing was telling me, Shayla, Simone, and at the time, I still believe Marissa was there. I know she was there. She was there. So it was telling all four of us, like, we shouldn't hang around with certain people and do certain things and et cetera, et cetera. Like, kind of like, you know, giving like a motherly figured advice, but in a weird way. And told Bernard and Brian they have to leave the house. They was going crazy. They was saying, y'all gotta leave the house. And we was like taking the shit serious. We were just sitting here just being entertained, just listening and just listening to the bitch, right? So at this point, I'm just like, can I go to the bathroom? Like, I'm raising my hand like I'm in school, because I didn't want to, like, you know, try to like tick the thing off and prevent something for it to like go crazy. So I'm like, can I use the bathroom? Right after the thing had kicked Brian and Bernard out of the house. Like, the thing was not having it. Like, the thing did not want them in the house, period. So in my mind, we thinking they just left and went home or just went somewhere. As we were having a conversation before I went in that bathroom, the thing was telling us about them and how they don't want us around them, and saying like they probably standing outside on the stairs probably right now, which, I mean, that could be that right there could be a coincidence. Like, that could be an easy guess. Like, that could make sense. But it was still weird to me, because it's like, nobody would, y'all heard what I said. I said we thought that they probably just walked off and left, probably waited somewhere else, or just went home at that point, because we was in that house for a while. That shit was talking to us for a good minute, a good 10-15 minutes. So that means they were waiting at the stairs for about a good 10 to 15 minutes. So that's why I assumed that they walked off and left. Baby, when that shit said that they are waiting on the stairs, probably waiting for us, I raised my hand and I said, I gotta go to the bathroom, because I really did have to use the bathroom. But at the same time, I kind of was trying to I was trying to be nosy. I went to go in that bathroom, use the bathroom. Baby, there was a window that leads right to where the stairs is. I'm looking outside. I see Brian and Bernard at the same spot that this goddamn shit told us it was. I was like, yo, this shit is getting weird, because how the fuck, like, yeah, I mean, that could be a coincidence, but at the same time, the belt situation, like, how the fuck you knew my belt? And now you for some reason predicted that they were sitting at the stairs when we thought they left 10-15 minutes ago. You feel me? I came out that house, the thing was disappearing. It disappeared somewhere. It went somewhere. I told my friends, I was like, yo, they are really waiting outside like he said, like the thing said. I was like, yo, this shit is freaky. And at that point, child, things started getting worse with the story, right? The things started being aggressive further and further and further and further the story. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward because like I said, there's bits and pieces and different timelines and different days. So I don't remember the day. This is a different day. This time it is me. It's me, Shayla, Anthony. I know Anthony was present at one point, but I believe it was the situation that happened with Anthony. I think it was Anthony and Shayla this time, and I think the thing got aggressive with Anthony, but I don't remember that full story. But just know, like I said, the thing started getting more aggressive and more aggressive each time. So at this time, it's me, Shayla, Anthony's sister, and Shayla's little friend, her guy friend. Also the Anthony sister's friend as well. So we went to go chill by the park that was more like closer in the backside, more closer towards the front, where Marissa stayed. And we was like really chilling because there was somebody who used to stay right there, and I forgot who used to stay right there. I think it was Shayla and I'm gonna call the girl. I'm gonna call her Ashley. Okay, so it was Shayla and Ashley's homeboy. I think we were by his house. We were by his house, and we were all vibing. And Chris as well. I mean, Voodoo, Miss Voodoo was there. So at this time, right now, we all chilling out the park. Miss Voodoo is just himself right now, and when I tell y'all, everything was so cool that whole entire night. Everything, we was all vibing, shit was funny, we was laughing, we was just chilling, like as what teenagers would do yet again. Things started turning left. One thing led to another. Fast forward, it started becoming like little shade, and then it started becoming like a little argument, and then the girl Ashley, like, she was turning up, like she wasn't gonna let nobody punk her, and I don't blame her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that started happening. Like the things started like turning up and pumping, and I'm like getting pumped up and amped up, and I'm sitting looking in the back, and I'm like, I feel like this thing about to come out, and I just really feel like this shit about to come out, and things are gonna go left, and just it's gonna start happening. Baby, Ashley was ready to start it. She was bucked up, had her set ready, and the girl, she was tall, like she was an athlete. She was tall, she did track, so she played sports. The girl was athletic, so, and she wasn't scared. So they got into a little argument. Things started going left. The thing started, the girl started like, I guess they both like kind of like swung or whatever. And, Miss Voodoo is an actual man, like a man, like he's kind of toned. So this was actually him fighting Ashley. This wasn't a Voodoo thing this time. So they started like quickly fighting, and then that's when things got worse. That's when the Voodoo spirit came out of him, and the shit started hollering in the neighborhood, walking around, rocking back and forth, screaming, talking in Creole, saying things in tongues, bitch. And yes, like, keep in mind, yes, Creole, and I did say the person's Haitian, and I'm not going to be stereotypical because I'm not going to do that, but I do know a lot of Haitians and a lot of, like, certain Hispanic cultures, they do that, like Voodoo and spirit, they do stuff like that. So he was, the thing came out and was speaking Creole, and then started speaking in tongues, hollering in the neighborhood, and things started turning left. Like, that shit started getting really, really, really aggressive and tried to fight the girl. Actually, like, this time it was different. Y'all was like doing like a little tussle. Like, y'all was like, you know, not tussling, but just like swinging or whatever. But he actually hit the girl. And then this time, things started getting worse. When the thing came out, the bitch took off the shoes, was ready to square up with this girl. I was like, oh my God, this is really bad. And it's the homeboy, and we're gonna name him Ben. So Ben, here go Ben. Ben is gonna defend his homegirl, gonna defend the females, period. So he like, yo, chill out, da 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 da. We like literally in the middle of the street. We are in the middle of the street, and things are going crazy in this neighborhood. People are, the thing is getting loud. It's like a huge argument outside at night. Like, shit started getting ghetto at this point, and the spirit was getting all amped up and ready to fight and square up, and was like, I'm a woman, we can fight, I'm a woman. That's one thing I definitely remember. That shit was hollering, screaming, I'm a woman, you're a woman, I'm a woman. And it looked so funny because it's a man. It is a whole physical man saying it, but really in reality, the spirit was actually a female, which we actually figured out a little bit earlier. But the spirit was a whole female, and it was screaming, I'm a woman, we can fight, I'm a woman, etc., and hollering at Ashley, and shit started getting left. So at this point, Ben jumped in and was ready to start fighting, and was like basically chasing after the thing, and the thing started like getting angry and just more crazy, and the shit just walked off. When that shit walked off, that was the end of that night, baby. We were like in shock, especially me and Shelly. We were in shock. We was like, whoa. Like, whoa.
Bitch.
I was like, this shit here is crazy. Y'all heard that I said before, the shit started knowing things that nobody else knew. It knew where my belt was. It started getting aggressive with other people. With Anthony, it started getting aggressive with me and Shirley at first. It got aggressive with Bernard and Brian, even though they the spirit didn't physically put hands on them, but they was like, the shit was yelling and getting angry, and just, the story is creepy. And when I tell you, I was freaked out, and at this point, I didn't want no parts to do with this shit anymore, and to do with him. Like, I don't even care that, I just didn't care to be friends with this person no more, because it was like, if this is the type of shit that comes out of you, and shit like that, I don't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that night was so crazy. So we sitting back trying to process what just happened, and what the hell. Like, at that point, baby, shit started going spreading around the community. It was like, this shit is starting to get sick. We was telling Simone. I remember Simone was like, for real, she was taking shit serious. She was like, at this point, I'm not even with this no more. She was like, I believe in this shit. And I started telling her, I was like, I agree with you, because, yeah, I said at first, I don't necessarily believe in it, because I've never experienced it. But when I experienced this type of shit and this type of behavior, I was scared. Never experienced this type of shit before, but y'all, this stuff was becoming too serious, and stuff was being weird. It was like, everything was a red flag. It was already, like I said, it was a red flag when he mentioned that his mama was scared of him. When he said his mama was scared of him, that was a red flag. The second red flag was when my mom met him for the first time and had bad vibes. Sure, I did. Because I drew a bond with him first, and then that's when things started, you know, with everybody else. But y'all, that was the end of it. Like, he moved out of the community. He still ended up going to the same school, and then eventually he ended up leaving that school. I heard that he ended up moving to Orlando, but it was so funny. Long time ago. At this point, I was mature now. At this point, like, I was, what, like 19, 20, 21, and around the time of the story time, like I said, I was in middle school, so I think I was like 12, yeah, I was 12. So later on in life, like 18, 19, 20, 21, around that time frame, I randomly saw this boy in a club. And when I saw him in a club, baby, I felt like he saw me. Cause I made eye contact with him, and I know he made eye contact with me. Or he probably didn't see me in the direction that he was looking, in the direction I was looking, made it seem like we made eye contact, but I definitely noticed him and I saw him, and ever since that, baby, I moved away. I went somewhere else. I was trying to avoid this man. I was like, I do not want to be around this creepy ass, weird ass person, because you done some weird shit, and he's already done weird shit before this whole voodoo thing, right? Because there were some things that he did to my mom's car. There were some things that he was saying that he was going to do to my stepfather. It was just a lot of aggressive, crazy shit with this person. So it was just a lot. So cut ties with this person. We all cut ties with this person. But y'all, this is the story time. I hope my story time wasn't all over the place and things started to make sense at least. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are new to my channel, might as well subscribe. Welcome to my channel. Hit that post bell notification so you can get notified every time I upload a video. And peace.